everyone, welcome to 4 Sides with me Anjali. You're watching the question of the day with Rajeshwari Kalyanam. The NDA meeting in New Delhi was chaired by Prime Minister Narendra Modi himself alongside the opposition meet in Bengaluru. While the opposition alliance says it has 26 parties, the NDA alliance talks about 39 parties under its wing. Does this mean BJP has an advantage? What do you think, Rajeshwari? Does Congress have an advantage or BJP?
So if you look at the numbers, Anjali, the numbers do indicate that BJP is at an advantage. 38 versus 26. The 39 is basically including the BJP. And if you look at, of course, the Lok Sabha seats also, 329 versus 157. So I'm combining all the number of seats that BJP alliance, NDA alliance has versus the newly formed I.N.D.I.A. India alliance. So obviously, because it's a majority, it is actually at the center ruling the country. So, but if you look at NDA, most of its alliances are basically just numbers, because BJP on its own has had an advantage of the majority. It did not need alliances. It went into alliance, or I would say an understanding only perhaps to gain some advantage in terms of support of a party, or perhaps to divide votes, or perhaps to consolidate its strength in a particular region. But overall, it did not need any help. So for a long time, it did not use the word NDA also. That term was not used until the second opposition meet, when there was an opposition meet that was happening in Bengaluru, and you had simultaneously on the same day an alliance meeting of NDA, which basically Mr. Narendra Modi himself chaired. We have seen in the past that Mr. Modi appears only when it's very important. Definitely there was a need to show some strength, and that is what PM Modi, Amit Shah, JP Nadda have done by bringing together all these 38 parties. But if we look at them, most of these parties basically are smaller parties, and many of them cover the northeast majorly. And if you look at the parties that are in alliance with BJP in the south, there aren't many except for perhaps an AIADMK and PMK. There's a very small party. It has in Tamil Nadu, it's a PMK party, is basically a kind of represents a 1 year caste, and that basically perhaps consolidates that particular vote bank for BJP. If you look at these 38 parties in Lok Sabha, 9 of these parties do not have even one Lok Sabha seat, and there are at least 16 parties that have drawn a blank. So that means these parties, 9 plus 16, 25 parties, have nothing to do, I mean, at least as of now. But definitely these parties are not useless. They help consolidate vote bank for NDA. And if, for example, if you look at Uttar Pradesh, BJP has under its wing, of course, the Suheldev Samaj Party, which basically was almost in a sword fight figuratively with Yogi Adityanath, especially Mukhtar Ansari, who had many cases that have been filed against him, but they are now on BJP's side. Then the new addition is Dara Singh Chauhan, who left the Samajwadi Party, and then you have the Apna Dal. So all these parties are small parties, but they carry with them a certain vote bank of a certain community or a caste. So in the end, BJP has the support of these OBC communities. They are basically, that means what is perceived that BJP always has support of the upper caste is basically discounting the OBCs who are perceived to be supporting the Congress. So when BJP says it's an NDA alliance with 38 parties under its fold, basically they are the smaller parties that have always been its allies or supporters, again as I mentioned. Plus they are also basically mostly from the northeastern belt, and you do not have many from the south, which still BJP has to work upon. And in addition, within these northeastern parties, Manipur, Mizoram, Nagaland parties, you have an opposition to some of its policies like the Uniform Civil Code. So there are a lot of issues that it still has to work around if it has to say that it is some new strength that it is portraying. Basically what it has is right now what it already has. So evidently this was just a show of strength, a retaliation to what opposition meet is doing. So for now, it is not a number game.
So, what are the challenges that the newly formed India has?
Well, the newly formed India also comes with its own set of problems. As I mentioned earlier, they have just Lok Sabha seats of 157 in total between all of them. So when India says it's fighting against Modi, of course they have a very big challenge in front of them. The elections are still a long way ahead, and BJP is known to enter into some alliances, and I would call them agreements, mostly unofficial. For example, there are loud rumors about how BJP is in agreement with the TRS party of Telangana for Lok Sabha elections. So there would be a lot of these aspects that it has to take into consideration. And you see what happened in Maharashtra, where NCP was originally with the NCP, or rather right now India, but right now because Ajit Pawar and his bunch of MLAs have defected and have gone to the other side, now BJP has the strength of Ajit Pawar and his MLAs. So there would be many such things that would happen in the future. We cannot say simply that because these are the set of parties that will stick to each side. There may be changes. So the India, as in I.N.D.I.A, has to be prepared for these kind of challenges in future. Plus also within the parties that are there in the alliance, there are many differences. They say they ironed out their ideological differences, but there are way too many. Mamata Banerjee, whose adversaries in the assembly are Congress and Communist Party majorly. Kerala, I mean, you have many states where the members of the alliance are basically against each other. So they would have to come to really good understanding, and they would have to choose their leader. If you look at the BJP alliance, NDA alliance, basically Prime Minister Modi is already elected as the leader for the obvious reason, because they are in majority. But when you come back to I.N.D.I.A, you do not have a leader yet. We are talking about Sonia Gandhi because she made an appearance in the second meeting, but it still is not as strong as it should be. That whole noise of Sonia Gandhi being selected or elected as a leader is not yet done. So even that challenge is still ahead, and the seat sharing is going to be a big drama. So I think these are some of the many challenges that I.N.D.I.A has.
So evidently, NDA versus India alliance is not just about the number game. Thank you for watching 4 Sides with me, Anjali and Rajeshwari Kalyanam.